Alrighty, welcome to this live stream. This is Rajat here from Startup Frat, welcoming you to this super special session. Thank you for joining us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. We are not on Twitter and LinkedIn. We are only on Facebook and YouTube. But in case you're watching this video somewhere other than our Facebook Hangout, do recommend join the rest of the gang at startupfrat.club/Facebook. So just join the rest of the gang at startupfrat.club/Facebook. That's where all the action is. Not to worry, wherever you're watching it from, let's just get cracking. So today I want to welcome one of our very special visionaries and one of the people who has brought a lot of change to the real estate industry. Okay, Startup Frat community member. He joined Startup Frat when he was just getting stabilized in his real estate career in India. He belongs to Delhi NCR region. After having his schooling and education over there, over a period of time, he realized he didn't want to. He wanted to explore stuff outside. His quest led him to different countries and a host of different professions. And what happens when you try to do many different professions, change different professions? The one thing that comes to your aid is interpersonal skill, people skill, and developing a sales and marketing mastery is not very far from having interpersonal and people skills. So he landed up in Dubai, where he found himself selling high end, those luxury cars and all those billionaires have in Dubai. And he became one of the most favored go to guys for people who wanted great advice on which car to buy, whether to buy a car or not, what is the right correct car financing option, etc., etc. Financing options are a little more complex in the UAE and even in the Arab world, because bank financing doesn't work the same like that. Their banks are not allowed to charge for interest. So financing is a little complicated. So people definitely want to have the right advisor. And he developed his reputation for being transparent, giving the right advice. Even if it's a no, he'd be like, it's a no for you. It's not the right time. It's not the right choice, whatever. Okay. And then he's like, okay, I want to change all of this. I want to bring it to India. I want to set up my own consultancy in India. And then after going through various markets, he settled on real estate. And now he is changing the face of real estate as we know it in India, because he's bringing the concept of high-end property management solutions, which either exists in very minute amounts or behind closed doors. It's not really a service that a lot of people offer, because it's not really a service that a lot of people have explored. Traditional property management in India is just brokerage based, so it's a very rudimentary art, although India is one of the biggest real estate destinations in the world, whether it's for commercial or for residential. Okay, so put your hands together. We're going to learn a lot, and we're going to see, he's going to predict the next 15 years of real estate. Whether you're an investor, whether you're a broker, whether you're a guy who just started a job, you want to know how to build your real estate portfolio over the next 30-40 years. He's the visionary to follow. Let me welcome Mr. Ratnesh Sharma over here. Yay. Okay, I got comments. Let me see if I can put the comments stream. Okay, I've got let me see if I can stream everything. Yeah, okay, cool. I've got Mr. Santosh, I've got Mr. Akash, I've got Mr. Ranjit. We got comments on two corners. It's like one of the Arnab's shows where you have ads and comments and overlays on all corners of the screen. And you're unable to actually see who the real speaker is because there's so much happening on the screen. So yes, a lot of stuff happening on the screen. Okay, I've got the chat roll happening, and so we have comments coming in from different destinations on the internet, and you will see the chat roll on the right, and I'm also showcasing the comments on the left. Okay, so we've got by the way, we've got a lot of people who have not authorized us to show their name. So I'll just stop this for just a second. You got to authorize. Let me just find where that thing is. Okay, authorize your display name by visiting. If you can't see your name on screen, you got to open a separate tab and just hit this link, which is chat.restream.io/FB. Chat.restream.io/FB. Very simple. Okay. Just open this in a separate tab so your name starts displaying. Otherwise, your name will not display. Okay, let me go back to chat roll. Okay, cool. Just okay. Lots of welcomes for Mr. Ratnesh. Awesome stuff. Okay, we are not displaying all the viewers from all the platforms, but all the comments, etc., are going to come into the chat role because the chat role unifier. Awesome, awesome. Okay, superhero, amazing. Yes, he's a superhero for sure, for sure. Okay. Amazing. Awesome. Chalo, let's get started. I'm just going to kill the chat overlay. We saw the magic happen. Okay. I'll just keep one chat option. Okay. Let's get cracking. So, Ratneji, welcome, welcome, welcome. Red carpet celeb session. Thank you for sharing your pearls of wisdom and thank you for giving us your time. Right before we got live, he got another call and he's doing his land deals on the phone. He's like, okay, okay, I just got a celeb interview. Let me just. Okay. So, what's your origin story? Tell us in your own words how you started, where you grew up, what was school and college life, what was your turning point, what made you quit the motherland in order to find your fortunes abroad, and what were the different experiences, professions, failures, ups and downs. We want to know everything. Over to you,
Thank you
sir.
very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajat, for this amazing opportunity. And thank you everyone for joining this session live.
Can
And
you speak little louder also? Because I think we're not catching the full thing. Yeah, just little louder, or maybe you can hold your mic to your mouth. That's totally fine.
is
No
it
problem.
slightly better now?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So good evening again, everybody. And my story is like the story of your next door neighbor. I'm a through and through Delhiite. I grew up in Delhi, did my schooling in Delhi, did my graduation from Delhi University. And early in my life, I got a call from inside that I want to either join the defense services or go abroad. So went for defense services, the interview, the SSB interview, and I was not recommended. So,
Okay. You're too
so that's
independent. You're too independent, or what?
too, well,
This guy has too many bright ideas. He's not going to be a
yes,
good
yes.
fit.
Yeah. They probably thought this guy is not going to be a good fit for the armed forces.
Not
So
going to be a good follower.
not going to be a good follower. So it's better to say thank you very much. So then the next call in life was to go abroad, and this was after I had a small stint in India with the Times of India, the publishers of the Times of India called a company, Bennett Coleman and Company Limited. So my job over there was to sell newspaper subscriptions door to door, and that was my first selling stint in life, and it was amazing. I must tell you, it was an amazing 1.5 2 years time. I used to go door to door and sell newspaper subscriptions. Within a very short span of about 6 months' time, my general manager, uh, his name is Mr. Bimal Chadha, and he saw my potential and he upgraded me to a territory supervisor. Delhi was divided into around 8 residential territories, and they had a vacancy, and they upgraded me to a territory supervisor. So my job was not to go actively only to sell the newspaper subscriptions, but I had a team of around 15 to 20 people. At the age of 20, I was hiring people, I was recruiting them, and my boss had even given me the freedom to fire people. So,
Okay.
so yes, there I was. My first presentation on an OHP was done when I was around 20 years old.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
It was
Cool.
amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And during those days, I got an opportunity, to go to Dubai and to work there, which was a call which I always had, that I wanted to go abroad. So I went there, joined an electronics superstore as a counter salesman, in the watches counter, and sold cameras, all branded watches, TVs, video games, and a lot of stuff. And eventually, I was moved to the wholesale division where I had to go out and sell to local stores. Uh, within the territory. We had our own brand of products which we used to manufacture in our brand name.
Okay.
So that's where I was, and then I had a bunch of every 2-3 years I switched jobs because I would get on top of the game, and then I would say what next, and
Okay.
so I would just move to a different product, a different company, and I've done a whole bunch of things in Dubai. It has been an amazing
Wow.
journey. Yeah, yeah.
So, tell us about the newspaper stuff. Funny thing, I know couple of people who have sold newspaper subscriptions, and India mein to you only sell subscriptions. In the US, you have to sell and deliver. Like you have to wake up in the morning and then deliver also. So, how did you go door to door and sell like newspaper subscription? Was it even money making for the company? How does it work?
Yes. See, newspaper subscription selling is like it's like selling a toothpaste.
Okay.
Imagine a person who's used to using a certain brand of toothpaste. It's not easy to
Mm-hmm.
change that.
Yep.
There's a whole strategy behind this. Uh,
Okay.
what what they what we were supposed to do was that it was a uh, survey come sales activity. So we would
Okay.
we would have a form in our hand. We would do a
Mm-hmm.
demographic profile survey.
Mm-hmm.
We would go house to house, and we'll ask, which newspaper do you use, how many family members are there, how many are
Mm-hmm.
earning, how many are non-earning, how many kids, what are their age group. Why didn't you kind
Mm-hmm.
of I understand what the demographic profile of the
Mm-hmm.
client is, and let's
Mm-hmm.
say the client is Hindustan Times, then
Mm-hmm.
you are selling Times of India. So now
Mm-hmm.
the person is sometimes from his vendor for the past 5 years, 10 years, 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you suddenly you are there, you're
Mm-hmm.
breaking that chain,
Okay.
and you're going to him and you are saying, sir, I have a very good offer, and we are giving all
Mm-hmm.
these free gifts, which were
Yep.
which were practically of no value if you ask me. but
Okay.
but then you'll go there, and the the best part is that you'll take upfront money of 3 months
Wow.
from that client who's otherwise paying at the end of a month. So
Okay.
you're taking 3 months subscription money,
Okay.
and you are creating a bind. The guy was using some
Okay.
other newspaper all these years, and suddenly you go there and you say that no, my paper is a lot better. It has this
Hmm.
editorial is better.
Hmm.
The news is better.
The look and feel of the paper is
Oh, yes,
better.
yes, yes. There was something called GNP, which is glazed news print.
Okay.
Which was a totally new phenomenon in the newspaper industry in those days. It was a
Okay.
very beautiful paper. If you touch the paper, you would feel, oh wow, amazing, silky. So you would
Okay.
you would you would show those newspapers to the readers, and you would say, so just touch it, feel it, read this. Our paper has this, and
Yeah.
and you had to. Uh, I mean, the biggest part is to take the 3 months money in advance, and
Okay.
we used to have a lot of repulsion from their everyday vendors, because they would hate us, because you are destabilizing them.
Yeah,
Somebody.
you're wiping out the carpet from under their feet.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. They used to hate us, and they would sometimes beat up people from our team. Yeah, they would do all kinds of things. So it was very, very challenging. Imagine, you know, uh, because this was like a part-time kind of an activity, and
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
I used to my starting money was 60 rupees per day. It was a
Wow.
it was an ad hoc, a temporary kind of job,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
permanency,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're going to somebody's house imagine Delhi NCR winters, and 7 o'clock in the morning you ring somebody's bell. So what kind of response are you going to get from that person? Somebody will shout on you, somebody will scream
Yes.
on you,
Somebody will
somebody.
let loose their dog on you or something, man.
Absolutely. But the other side is, somebody would be so welcoming, and they would appreciate you so much. They would say, look at these kids, they look from such good families, and they are out at from their house, and they are here, and they would offer you tea and biscuits and coffee, and uh, breakfast. because
Oh, the right people will actually appreciate that
absolutely.
initiative. Yeah.
You would get to see the best of all sides.
Yes.
And it was an amazing experience. Actually, that was the beginning of sales for me. There only I realized that sales could be amazing. It could be amazing. So, and
Yes.
this is the kind of thing that I would want to get into. So one time I rang a bell, and it was a diplomat's house in Janakpuri in Delhi.
Wow.
There was some Afghan diplomat who used to stay there, and his bodyguards came running, and immediately they said, step aside. What do you want? Why are you ringing the bell so early? What do you want? So I had to. They could barely speak English, but to explain to them, broken English, broken Hindi, and all that. That, sir, I'm here. This, that. Then the boss came. Said, what is it? Who is this early morning? So I explained, and then they said, okay, come inside, come inside. And the whole tempo changed. And he asked me what was going on, why I was there. I explained to him, and immediately, it was a winter time. It was chilly winters. So biscuits came, cookies came, tea, coffee came, and the subscription was sold.
Yeah.
So I mean, you would get door bangs, and you would get welcomes. You would get all kinds of things.
So tea, coffee, and sales would also happen in the same meeting?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Okay.
seldom you would go back twice. Sometimes you would have to go back because the decision maker is not there. He's in a hurry. He's getting late for the office. The kids are getting late for the school.
I
People.
had I had similar but little different experiences. So I started network marketing in medical college. Okay, and on my off days and all, I would just like find prospect, call them, like they'd be surprised because when I met them on the street, I'd say I'm a medical student or Dr. Saab or something, and then they'd be like, okay, and then I'd be like, okay, I want to meet you for some business. They'd be like confused. So I would show up to their house and they'd be like, oh, doctor, why are you into this business? And I would like talk about like this healthcare revolution is going to happen. I want you to be aware, medical science doesn't have all the answers. And like I would, in a significant percentage of cases, I would get like the chai coffee lunch मिल जाता था आराम से. AFMC student मतलब breakfast lunch आराम से मिल जाए, कोई चिंता नहीं है. But funny, when I did the correlation, I found that the people who give me breakfast, lunch, dinner never buy from me, and the people who buy, they are they are not the cookies and all that. So I had two separate things. And my upline used to laugh at me, and he's like, do you know that instead of food, if people just gave you money, you'd just make a sale? I was like, I am enjoying the food. Yeah, there's no problem. So yeah, that was a good experience. Amazing. Amazing. Mr. Santosh is saying hats off to your persistence. Miss Saloni is saying super inspiring. Miss Ritu is saying Ratneji is the killer. Dr. Kamal is saying super selling skills. Mr. Santosh is saying selling skills amazing. Miss Tejaswini is saying so you learned about the right target audience. Amazing. Awesome. Okay, now let's get to the next section, which is I just like to let me open the camera. Okay. So the next section is that what is the story from India over to the over to abroad, and like what were your first few experiences over there?
You see, when you land up into a new place, uh, you don't know anybody over there. It's a totally new terrain, new territory, and and you don't want to miss out the opportunity.
Hmm.
So it was quite tough in the beginning, but
Hmm.
UAE, United Arab Emirates, is an amazing place to be
Hmm.
at.
Hmm.
All praises for that country, and all
Yeah.
praises for Dubai city.
Yeah.
It's home to so many Indians. They love it. We loved it here. I've spent the better years of my life over there, and it's amazing. You don't feel that you're out of India. Actually, it's almost like a better, sort of a cleaner, a smaller version of India. It's an
Amazing.
amazing place to be at.
Amazing.
Yeah, multicultural environment, and I mean, it's one place where the local, the Arabic speaking people, they try to talk to you in Hindi and in Urdu mix, and and it's amazing. It's simply amazing. It's a very very nice place, and work wise also, it's not tough. Of course, the weather and all conditions are difficult. So
Hmm.
starting when you go to a country like in UAE, in those days to get a UAE driver's license was considered to be, like a PhD. You have acquired a PhD. So I have acquired my PhD back in 1994.
Yeah,
1994.
very difficult. Yeah,
Very difficult. I mean, I've known some of my friends spend 10,000, 15,000 US dollars, 20,000 US dollars, not dirhams.
yeah.
Not dirhams. They have spent hell a lot of money. There were people who, I mean, driver's license process would go on for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And you don't have shortcuts over there.
you don't have shortcuts, and there's no life. You see, I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to move to the next level, I mean, driver's license is
You have to drive. Yeah.
absolute must. You have to
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I was lucky. I got my driver's license pretty fast. Pretty fast means about a year's time or
Wow.
something,
Amazing.
and not spending too much money and all. I was lucky,
Hmm.
and that literally changed my life.
Hmm.
After 1994, the salary which I was drawing at that time when I got my driver's license was 1,300 dirhams, which is
Wow.
hardly maybe $400 or something, 350 to
Okay.
$400.
Okay.
And my next offer, immediately within few months, was somewhere around uh, 15 to $1,800.
Okay.
The next offer, so 5 to 6 times of my salary jump straight away. Yes, yeah.
Mr. Roel is speaking to you in Arabic, I think.
Yes. Marhaba, marhaba, ya Roel. Kef halak? I respond.
Maafi muskila.
Maafi
Okay.
mushkila, maafi mushkila.
Amazing.
Yes.
Awesome. Lino sir is also an NRI. Man, we have NRI camp today, man. Lots of NRIs.
Wow.
Lino sir is now in India, but I think he's still on Swiss passport.
Very
But
nice.
amazing. Great stuff. Yeah. Great stuff. Okay. So now, so you moved over to India. Now, let me just open up my camera. Okay. So now you moved over to India, and then was property your first bet, or did you like do a couple of things before you nailed down on the property angle?
It was like this, that my property journey started in UAE, because property was to get into the property business was my agenda for some years, because when I was
Okay.
in automotive sales, and during the peak time, the prime time in internationally across the world, I had these big buyers who would come with loads of cash to our showroom, and every 2 3 months they would flip their cars, and
Wow.
I used to earn very decent money myself, but when I saw them, I would say, boss, I mean, I'm just making peanuts. This means this is the business to be in, right? So I said, boss, this is where I have to be. The big game is somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this small thing, this
Yeah.
automotives and all. No, I
Yeah.
have to be in the real game,
Yeah.
the real estate.
Yeah. Real estate. Yes.
The real estate. So that's where the dream was. The dream started from there, because they would come, they would buy Land Cruisers, and they will drive it for 3 months, and they would say, no, I will sell the Land Cruiser and I'll buy a Nissan Patrol now, and then he will sell the Nissan Patrol, and then he will say, no, I will buy the Land Rover or Range Rover. They would just keep flipping
Did
cars.
you ever have a moment like Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness, where he sees this guy with the Ferrari, and he's like, "Boss, I have two questions for you. What do you do, and how do you do it?"
Dr. Rajat, incidentally, I was at the automobile showroom one time at my job, and
Yeah.
one of the clients, he came and he said, "Do you know one thing, dude?" I said,
Yeah.
"What?" He said, "You guys are the most cunning guys in the world. Automotive sales guys." And I actually believed in what he was saying, because we were trained to convert a guy who to buy a black color car into some other
Okay.
color car by techniques, because you do not have the black color in stock, and you know that you will not have it in stock for the times to come. So you must convert him, otherwise you lose the deal. So you have to have those skills. It's very important. Yeah. So yes, it is very interesting, how these trainings happen, and life in itself is an ongoing journey, boss. There's no destination. There's no destination. And for a sales, the life is different. A salesperson, a typical salesperson like me, life starts on the first day of the month, and it ends on the last day of the month, and then rebirth happens on the next first of the month. You see, because we are so used to the targets. If we do not have targets, we don't know what are we going to do. We've lived our life with targets. Year on YTD, year to date, and all those targets. It's never ending, and they actually put you on a good track. Targets, which we call goals also, right? Yeah. So goal setting is very important. When you go out of the house every day, every morning, you have to know where are you going. That's your target. That's your target. That's your goal. So I mean, are we not supposed to know where our life is going? Where do we want to steer it? Which direction? So it's very important.
So that's an amazing thing. Like, very few people think so far and they take these jumps knowing that this is where the future lies. And when you do know this is the future lies, you always have doubt. And if you ask your friend, family, or the near dear one, they will also have doubts. But it's like how few people actually say, okay, I'm in car sales. All these fellows who are buying the cars are into real estate. So let me get into real estate. And then you decided to come back to India, which is like the toughest market. And then you're doing a totally new thing in a totally new field. So tell us about how that happened and how many years it took, and what is the journey? How are you managing 100 crore portfolio? That is what the juicy stuff that everybody wants to know. Nation wants to know. So what is it?
The thing is that we also have to realize how lucky we are. We are today in one of the biggest markets in the world. The opportunity is unlimited, but we have to realize it. I started this journey in India about 4 to 5 years ago, and today I am lucky that I'm managing more than 60 properties, and it's more than 100 crores worth of business which I'm handling today. So I feel truly blessed to be in India and to belong to this country, which is a huge ocean, and it's not just a huge ocean. It's a red ocean. There's a lot of
Yeah.
action happening here. So we must take advantage of it. This is the time. This is the opportunity, and this is the age of Aquarius. So we must kill it, boss, before
Awesome.
before anything else happens. Before the whole
it's
thing changes.
it's a great thing that you said. So this Warren Buffett was asked that what are the three luckiest things that happened to you in life that made you like the richest guy in the world? At that time, you were the richest or second richest. And he's like, the luckiest thing that happened, or the number, he's like, three reasons why you're so rich. He's like, the first reason is I was born in America. If I was born in any other country of the world, I wouldn't have made it, because like it is, big in terms of the stock market is a seat of capitalism and all that. And this guy made his career in stock market, and he's like America is the biggest market. If you're not in America, then just being into the wrong market will just cost you your whole life. You'll be not getting the same results. And what you say is very interesting, that India is the golden bird of the East today. Somebody actually made a comment that India is the new British Empire actually now. They are Desis own all the company. They are the CEOs. Every country of the world you go, the Desis are the richest. So India is the new British Empire, and all send remittances and all that to the country. So a lot of cash inflow is happening. So so golden bird of the East or the British Empire. Now, what you are saying, what you're talking about, let me go to the talking points that you had shared with me about estate management secrets. And then you had talked about, you said this is going to be a core vehicle. It's very different from what most people in real estate do. And you said that there are three different secrets that clients who are the real guys, your Dubai lookalikes, they look at the market at a very different angle than the supply side is looking at, which the broker side or the servicing side is looking at. And that is a huge different opportunity for everybody. Like, if you supply the client with the right thing, then definitely better for everybody. And then if you're a broker, definitely, because you stand to make more money, but you got to understand the game differently. So what's the angle over there, and what is it that you have found that you intend to take big in the economy now? Let's talk about that.
It's a very interesting question which you asked. A lot of people, they start to pitch a product without understanding the need of the client. We must qualify our clients in the best possible way. We must understand what their needs are. If the client is looking at buying a property for a short span of time to flip it, one has to understand it. If the client is looking at buying the property to stay invested for a longer period of time, we have to know it. We have to know the correct entry points and exit points. What is the right price? It's very important. The paperwork are very important. First and foremost is the trust and trust. They want to just go ahead deal. They're just looking at making their quick buck and saying goodbye to the client, and then the client to themselves. But that's not the right way. You have to look at the long term game. You as a seasoned professional in sales and business development, we have always been taught that never do a single deal with one person. You should always be looking at more than one transaction.
Yeah.
And that consistency will only happen if you really look after the interests of the clients. It will save a lot of effort and time, and eventually, it will be a win-win situation for everybody if we look at the long-term business, not just the short-term. If you're there for a short-term business, then you'll have to keep hunting for new clients all the while. But that's not what I do here. You'll be surprised. I have a client who I helped with a property here in Delhi NCR, and then she was buying another property. She is, I do not want to take her name purposely. They are an NRI family, and they wanted some assistance in Goa. She called me up. She said, Ratnesh, I need your assistance in Goa. Can you go and take care of my things over there? I said, sure, I'll do that. Why not? And she said, whatever is your compensation, I'm willing to take care of it, but I want you to handle it. So that's the kind of trust we must develop with our clients. You have to be like a one-stop shop for people. You don't have to keep hunting for clients all the while.
So now this basically you're maximizing the